Hello Opt-in scientist. In this video, I want to talk about a neat way of building your email list and growing your email list using a strategy in which you can spend a lot of money on ads but still end up building your list for free. And the strategy is webinars. Now, webinars have been around for a while, but they've recently gained popularity among coaches, consultants, product sellers, digital product sellers, software sellers online, because you can actually afford to get a high dollar value per lead, and that gives you the flexibility to have a flexible ad budget, and you can keep increasing your ad budget till you hit that amount and still be profitable. Now, I'll get into the details of everything. But before we get into that, there's two things you need to know. One, this works mostly with digital products. And two, you need to have a high ticket offer. Any product that you sell that's between $497 to $2,000 or $3,000, that's a high ticket product. And these are the kind of products that you can sell on webinars. These have been proven to work great. We ourselves sell our OptinLabs software using webinars at a $497 price point. But we know it works because a lot of people have been using it. Russell Brunson has given a big push to webinars using his webinar scripts and his funnel hacking and all of that. But what we have seen is a trend. On Facebook ads, if you scroll through your newsfeed, you'll find a lot of coaches, consultants, FB ad experts, a lot of people directing you to a webinar opt-in page, and you probably will see our ad too if you target you. So you reach a webinar opt-in page and then you sign up for the webinar and you show up for the webinar and you end up buying the product. So the process is simple and I'll go through the process, but let's first try to understand why this works. Now consider a $997 product, all right? Let's say you sell something for $1,000 and you have a 1% conversion rate on all the registrations that happen on your webinar opt-in page. So considering that figure, you need 100 webinar registrations to make one sale that's worth $1,000. So your cost per lead is $10, all right? So you make $10 per lead. And that gives you a lot of flexibility because even if you have a low converting webinar opt-in page, let's say it converts at 30%. Now we've seen conversion rates anywhere between 60 to 70%, 50% to 70%. But even if you convert at 30% on your webinar registration page, even then that gives you the flexibility of spending up to $2 to $3 per lead. So if you can spend a couple of bucks on Facebook for getting a lead, that means you'll be in profit by the time the person has finished watching the webinar. So that's why it's brilliant. And we've actually been building our list for free on the OptinLabs webinar sequence that we've planned out, and I'll show you all the pages inside that. So what's the actual webinar funnel look like? So the webinar funnel consists of your actual ad that you're promoting. So you can actually even target affiliates and try to get affiliate traffic into your webinar funnel, but I'll be focusing more on ads because that's an evergreen solution and that's scalable. So let's say you create a nice copy for your ad, a nice video or a nice image, and you drive traffic to your webinar registration page. That's where a person actually opts in, gives you their email address and joins your email list. Plus they are registered for the actual webinar that's about to happen. Once a person registers for that webinar, they are given a sequence of emails. They're sent emails using an autoresponder or using the service that you're using for the webinar. Now there are two main services that are available. One is GoToWebinar and the other that we love personally is Webinar Jam. That's mostly used for automated webinars, but you can actually run actual live webinars using Webinar Jam as well. So what happens is the emails that a person receives is one, as soon as they register, they're given the registration confirmation and a link to join the webinar. The next email that goes out is about an hour or 2 hours before a person, based on the time that they've selected they want to attend the webinar, the email goes out to them. And the final email goes out about 10 to 15 minutes before the webinar is about to start, just to get those last few people in and as a reminder to join the webinar on their given date and time. So these are the emails that go out. A person reaches the webinar page, they watch the webinar, they may or may not buy your product, but after that, after 8 hours to 24 hours after the webinar has finished, you can actually set up emails that go out automatically, again using the autoresponder, that give people a link to the replay of the webinar that just happened. and you end up getting sales from the replay as well. But there's one critical step. All right, this was just the webinar. There's one critical step. So once a person opts in using the webinar registration page, they're taken to a thank you page. All right, and that's where you can actually start recuperating your ad budget straight away. You don't even need the webinar sale to actually recuperate your ad budget. Now, what you can do is thank a person for joining the webinar, for registering for the webinar, tell them to show up on time, all the cool stuff. But then below that, you ask them to buy your Tripwire product. Now, your Tripwire product can be anything between $7 to $17, $27, $37, or it can also be a free trial to your product or software that you're selling. So the Tripwire works really well because it's low cost. There's a low cost point of entry. There's not much to think about. And if you're offering value at that price point, and because a person has already seen your ad, clicked on your ad, reached your opt-in page, liked what you're training them on or what you're giving them, they've opted in, they've taken action. So they're more likely to actually complete the purchase of your Tripwire product. And we have seen in our personal case, a lot of people sign up for our free trial of the OptinLabs software that we offer as a Tripwire on the thank you page. So you start recuperating your ad budget and ad cost straight up from the opt-in page. You don't even need people to actually show up on the webinar. So the entire funnel is built out, and it's a solid funnel that works. We have tested it ourselves, and let me just show you some pages. The ads that we're using is mostly video ads or image ads, and we take people to a webinar registration page, and we actually split test different elements of this page, and we've built out multiple variations of this page. And once a person signs up, they are taken to a thank you page where we pitch our free trial of the OptinLabs software. There's a 14-day free trial. They are given emails to actually join the webinar and attend the webinar. And once the webinar is finished, we send out replay emails to get people to actually go ahead and watch the replay. And after that, we actually have a shortened version of the webinar, and we've created like a very simple kind of a VSL page, and we drive traffic to that VSL page with a short video, which is basically the gist of the webinar, a 14-15 minute video. And that's where we try to sell the actual webinar high ticket offer using that VSL, and we do get sales from that as well. So the funnel is neat, it's tight, it works. And I do recommend, if you have a high ticket offer, or if you have something of value to give to your customers, your prospects, your audience, and you want to build your list, this is critical because you actually end up building a huge list. So you have a lot of scope for growth, and you can actually spend a lot of money on ads and still build a list in the process and be profitable once a person has gone through the entire funnel. And I do recommend you get on the webinar wagon as soon as possible. But it will only work if you have a digital product to sell and a high ticket offer to pitch to your customers. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment. I want to hear your thoughts. If you're using webinars, if you've seen other people use webinars, definitely let me know. We're always looking for great webinar funnels to hack through. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.